Alright, hi everyone, welcome to today's video. On the day it's being recorded, it is Monday, June 30th, 2025. What the hell? Why is there a... Oh, that's right. It's County Fair Week, that's right. I forgot I forgot all about it, honestly. They kind of officially started it technically yesterday with some minor events, but today's the actual first inaugural day. So all the streets are gonna be kind of quiet for the most part. So I'm off tomorrow, but I'm also off Thursday and Friday. And well, the plan is I'm going to work tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to... Well, I'm not going anywhere. Ooh, yep, I got mosquitoes. Let me smell. Ooh, fresh meat. Yum, 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 yum. So I kind of have to be careful on that. I probably should have wore a jacket if I'm being honest. But then I'll feel overheated. But anyways, so I'm going to work tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna be staying home and doing some laundry. I'm gonna do some laundry and then work on some videos. Wednesday I have to work. Thursday, the plan is that I'm gonna go over to the homie's crib. And stay the night and, you know, just hang and chill, whatever. Friday, since it's the 4th, that's when I'm going to be going to I'll be at the homie's crib, of course. And well, we're gonna go see the fireworks and go into the fair, because I told them, like, look, I mean, we can go see the fireworks, but I at least want my funnel cake. And, you know, I really only get 2 funnel cakes every calendar year, because, well, I get one at the fair and then I get one at the popcorn festival. But I hate going to the fair because you gotta pay like $8 or $9 just to get in. And I prefer going to the popcorn festival because it's free to go in. And, you know, I don't know. So, what's the main theme for today? Is it like a derby or something? I actually don't know. Let me be brutally honest. I also kind of have to monitor the sky a little bit, because apparently I got a weather thing saying that there's gonna be like a pop-up storm, and it's gonna have about 50-mile-an-hour winds, maybe produce some hail between now and 8:30. Which, by the way, by the time we get up to Main Street, it will be about 8 o'clock. As long as I don't have too many distractions. I also don't have food or snacks to like have, so I'm probably gonna have to stop over at the Darker Dirk on the way to work, and I can at least stop there because it's just pretty close to the hospital. It's over by the old crib, and honestly I think it's kind of weird that I've only moved, what's that, like 3 times within the last 5 years or something like that. Because, okay, so let's start at the very beginning of my life. I lived in my parents' house under the same roof for a little over 21 years. I lived in the same house as a kid, and all of that. Let's see here. Oh, let's see here. So, in about probably mid-June of 2020 or something like that, that's when I officially first moved out of the house and lived with the homies over on oh god, I can't remember what the Wallace, that's what it was. That's when we used to live on Wallace. So we were literally in like walking distance of the fairgrounds, which means that we can actually technically sit outside and see the fireworks. And that's what we did in 2020. Interesting. I never see that van be driven outside of downtown. Oh. Oops. It's trash night. I forgot. Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So that's going to be another thing I'm going to have to do when I get home from work. Other than, taking a shower. Because I already know I'm going to have to take a shower. That's already a guaranteed fact. So I'll probably just, you know, my ex-girlfriend is messaging me on Discord. My Canadian ex-girlfriend, I should say. Yeah, I've slowly got back into contact with her. And, this week is the 10-year anniversary of my trip up to Canada. So, yeah. Today, 10 years ago, is when we officially crossed over from America into Canada. And also marks the first time I'm technically international. And I've only been to one country prior to today, 10 years ago. And it's kind of funny that both America and Canada both celebrate their most important national holiday in July. Okay, I just got my Alexa reminder, so it is now officially 8 o'clock. I probably should have just walked out at 20 after or 22. But I wanted to hear my flash briefing from my Alexa. Which, speaking of which, Alexa, what is today's forecast? You're welcome, by the way. Oh god, that's funny. So, here's the deal about the 4th of July and American independence, I should say. Actually, I'll go over Canadian independence, because that one's a little bit easier and more simplified to kind of go over. Let's see here. So Canada and its history has been more or less split up between the British and the French, at least up until the 1760s. Because in the late 1750s to the early 1760s, there was a big major global conflict going on all over the world between the UK, its colonies, and its allies, against France, her colonies, and her allies. And, well, bottom line is that, and I just got a thing on my phone saying that it's going to rain in the next 20 minutes. Great, that's going to set me back. Luckily I got an umbrella, because I was like, you know what, I'm probably going to need that. So anyways, the massive global conflict was known as the 7 Years' War. There were multiple theaters in Europe, the Caribbean, and here in the mainland of North America. The theater here in mainland North America, known only mostly to us Americans and Canadians, are known as, well, it's known as the French and Indian War. It wasn't supposed to be a theater in the 7 Years' War back then. But you want to know who accidentally started it? Who is someone that lived in what is present-day Virginia? That lived from, I don't know, 1732 to 1799. And is well loved as an American through life and over 2 centuries later of his death. Who was once president of the United States and was one of the best military generals that our country's ever had, and is my favorite president. Yeah, George Washington. He accidentally started the North American theater of the French and Indian War, which is, you know, the American version of the 7 Years' War. There was just a lot going on in Europe at that time, and all Britain needed was another conflict on their plate. Well, long story short, I mean, we all know the American version of that story. Britain won, which means that that pretty much everything east of the Mississippi in what is today America is owned by the British. And the vast majority of what is the eastern chunk of Canada, at least up through the Great Lakes and going up north a little bit further, is now part of the British Dominion of North America. The French settlers were allowed to stay in what is today Quebec. Well, okay, hold on, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So all that happens, they decided to tax the American colonies, which is, you know, the original 13 colonies of the United States. And, you know, we already know the next 250 years from that. Now, the Canadian side, like how I kind of briefly mentioned, that there were still French Canadians in what is today you know, what is areas mostly known today as Quebec. And the British overlords were like, okay, here's the deal. You guys can keep being under, you know, our dominion. You can remain part of the empire. You can keep your heritage, whatever. As long as you keep alleging your life to the British Crown, you can live here in peace, do whatever you want. And they were like, okay. And in a nutshell, that is how the Canadian province of Quebec was kind of in a way born, which is why Canada has 2 official languages, you know, for the entire country, both English because it was a British colony for a long time, and French, because parts of Canada, and especially Quebec, are almost overwhelmingly French in terms of language, and their dialect is a lot different from a lot of the French dialects all over the world, and especially in mainland France. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it, honestly. And of course, there's a damn train too. All right, so Canadian independence. Canada got their independence through diplomacy, which on July 1st of, oh God, what year was that? 1870, the British government granted Canada autonomy. Which kind of means that they are still within the British Empire, but they can act on their own accord for most issues. It's just all their finances and most external military support has to come from the British Isles. And it kind of became a dominion at that point, or actually more like a commonwealth. Although it kind of still is a commonwealth to this day, although it's kind of complicated. Okay, good. Train's over. No, not the music train. Like an actual train, choo-choo. Okay. And oh God, when was that? 1967 or something like that. The Canadian government. Okay, that's just water. The Canadian government decided, hey, instead of having autonomy, how about we just be our own fully fledged independent country but still remain part of the Commonwealth realm? And the monarch at the time, which just so happens to be the late Queen Elizabeth II, said, okay. So that's when they established their own separate constitution, in which they became a fully independent country. But where they can do stuff on their own accord. But whoever the monarch of the UK is their overall head of state. They can elect their own head of government however much they want. So yeah, which is why every time when you go up to Canada and you see either Elizabeth II's face, or in this current modern case, Charles III's face, that's why Canada is sort of it's part of the Commonwealth realm, and going by all other countries that are part of the Commonwealth realm, Canada has the highest population of all the countries that are considered part of it. Some other countries that are part of it, in no particular order, include Australia, New Zealand, most of the Caribbean island countries, places like that. Oh, God. Side note, this is actually a brand new shirt. Oh, great. Severe thunderstorm warning. It expires in 45 minutes. I actually don't know what time it is, if I'm being brutally honest. I mean, I'm in the realms of what is downtown. I would say as long as I make it to somewhere with shelter and kind of hang out for a bit, I think I'll be fine. As long as I have enough time to, you know, get ready for work, sit down, relax, whatever, then I'll be Gucci. But yeah, anyways, Canada's Independence Day is July 1st of either 1870 or 1967. Although they created their current flag in 1967, which, you know, we all know Canada's flag, the maple leaf. Is easily recognizable when you look at it like, oh yeah, Canada. But yeah, you know, Canada is also a very, very large country. In terms of land area, it is the second largest country in the world after Russia. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to storm. I can hear thunder brewing. But oh, there it goes. Jesus Christ, it keeps getting darker and darker. Okay. I couldn't even tell you what time it is right now. Dude, that's so weird watching the siren move around. God, the whole ground shook when it was going off. Oh my God. That's definitely a new one for me. I've never felt that before. I felt weird. All right, go ahead, say it.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
There we go.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for this area. Severe thunderstorm warning.
Yep. Every time when I hear that as a kid, I'm like, severe
Thunderstorm warning.
God damn.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for this area. Severe thunderstorm warning.
It's not fully overhead yet. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably okay, now it's just gonna keep repeating now. But damn, I never gotten so close at the at the thing for hearing the sirens and stuff. Oh yeah. I'm walking south, by the way, guys, and I can see in the, what's that, southwest or so, I can see the rain back over in that direction. And from my viewpoint, it looks like it's all going to be mostly in the south. It's just going to be cloudy all around the rest of the area, I think. So, yeah, that is basically the fast version of Canadian independence. So just as a reminder, for American independence, everyone likes to say that the actual day of independence for the United States is July 4th, which is actually 100% false. Why? Well, technically, the Continental Congress vote for independence is technically July 2nd. The Continental Congress unanimously passed the independence resolution to officially declare the 13 colonies of British America as the United States of America. But the finalized version of the Declaration, the document that we know today as the Declaration of Independence, that is now, like, the updated version of it, and when most of the delegates signed it, did take place on July 4th. Okay, I would say that it's now directly above me now. I mean, look at this. Look at all that. Yeah, look at all that madness. Okay. I'm going in. What the hell are you looking at, kid? Your ginger looking ass. God. I am gonna... I was about to say a word I don't usually use on this channel. I'm glad I stopped myself. But you kind of know where I'm going with it. Or where I was going to go with it. I.e., I'm melting. But a lot more emphasis on another word that I don't use on this channel. It's a lot of thunder. Oh. Here comes the rain. Activate umbrella. No, why'd I grab the small one? Damn it. Oh. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this off here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.